Okay, so we're going to go over phasing and how phasing can impact a project and how you can set different things up within phasing. I'm going to use this sort of in progress model that I used in the last video to kind of show you that sort of stuff as well. Excuse me. Um, so right now everything is essentially based in a new construction phase. Um, If you click on any individual element all the way at the bottom under phasing, it says it's under new construction, phase demolish none. Um, Obviously, since it's a new element, we're probably not going to build it and then demolish it right away. So obviously, demolished is under none, and then this is a new element that we're creating right now. If I select, let's say I want all these exterior walls here. To be elements that are part of the existing here. So I'm going to select, let's run around and grab these. I don't want that one. I don't want that one. But I do want these here. So, and the stair lines, we'll say the stairs are existing as well. Okay, so that should be sufficient for our purposes here. So I'm going to scroll this all the way down, and since all of these are walls, I probably wouldn't, phasing is one of the few things that you can select different items with. Now, it's not going to show me any of the properties of the walls, but phasing is one of the few things that you can select multiple types. I can select stairs, I can select doors, I can select all of that stuff. And let's select this exterior door here, and maybe one of these. And we're going to change all of these to say these are existing items. So, as soon as I make those existing items, and I deselect them, you'll notice that no longer are they pochade. Now they're just kind of a plain wall there. And I'm going to get rid of these lines here. Those were just sketch lines from early on. Okay, so now it's showing this as existing, and this makes it so that all new elements kind of jump out pretty prominently. So these walls jump out as these are new, and these sort of fade away as these are existing walls that we're not too concerned about. So if I wanted to say, okay, these two doors, we're actually going to demo these two, or we're going to replace them, or something like that. So I'm going to come down here under phasing, phase demolished. The phase will be new construction, and now those show up as a dashed line, and it automatically fills in the rough opening with a wall type that matches whatever is on the opposite side, on either side of that. So it takes that wall type and it fills it in to show that, okay, we're demoing the door and then we're going to fill the opening. So if you do not like the way that this is showing up, so let's say you don't care for this dashed line, you can change that. You can also change how this stuff is viewed. So let's say that I've got, let's duplicate this here, and I'm going to hit duplicate with detailing, and I'm going to say I'm going to make a demo plan. So D dash level 1. So this will be my demo plan, and I want to see all existing elements and then just the items that are being demoed. So to show that, we come down here, and under phase filter it says show all. I want to show the previous stuff, which would be the existing plus the demoed stuff. So as soon as I select that, it gets rid of pretty much everything except for the walls that I have selected as existing, and then the walls that and the items that I selected as existing, and then the doors that I selected were going to be demoed here. Similarly here. So you can see I can start to set up a demo plan here where it starts to call this stuff out. Now, right now I have thin lines turned on. This is something that you may want. I like to have it on all the time because sometimes when you scroll in real close, the thickness of lines can be a little bit of a problem. So if I turn that off, you notice that these get thicker with the line weights being shown. So this is a little bit more bold, but maybe I want my demo line to be really bold so it really calls itself out. There's no question which items are demoed. To do that, I'm going to go under, let's see, it is Manage, and then Phases. Now, if you are doing a project that is going to be using multiple phases, more than just what is existing and what is going to be new construction, maybe you're doing things in kind of wings and one section is being done and then you complete another one and another one, you can create new phases here that will show up where you can say, okay, this is existing and it's being demoed in not new construction, it's being demoed in phase 2 or phase 3 or phase 4. You can set all of that stuff up through that. Phase filters. So right now it's just showing new, existing, demolished, and temporary. So if I were to add, like let's say I add a phase 1 here, now under phase filters, if I come in here, I can show all these different items here. The existing, demolished, and temporary. So these are all different assignments that you can give these things. So obviously it can be under new construction, it can be under existing, and it could be a demolished thing. The temporary item is something that you show as being new construction and then also demolished within, like let's say I made something, created something in phase 1 and demolished it in new construction. That would be something that would qualify as a temporary element. So it's a new thing that's being built for the project, but it's also being demolished for the project. So any temporary shoring, any temporary supports, that sort of thing, are things that you can throw in there if you want to show a bracing plan or that sort of thing, like a temporary bracing plan. You could show that through the temporary setups. So each one of these is an option. When we scrolled down and we saw we selected previous plus demo, that's what we have this set up as. It shows here what is being displayed. So previous plus demo, the new stuff is not displayed because we're just looking at existing and the demo stuff. So existing stuff, it shows as overridden, and then demolished is overridden. The reason that these are shown as overridden is because of this graphic overrides. So if this shows by category, it is just going to show whatever line type is associated with that family or element. So walls, it has a solid line that runs all the way around. So that's not being overridden, it's by category. So overridden, it defaults to these items. So existing, demolished, new, and temporary. So if a thing is shown as overridden, it defaults to this. Demolished, it's showing the dash line and the cut line. So the difference between a projection and a cut is basically when you look in your view range, is that cut plane cutting through that element. So right now, our doors, if we zoom in on this, so you see our door panel has a thicker line weight than the swing does. That is because the swing is technically just on the floor. It's just an element that's being shown on the floor, so we're not cutting through that. So that is the demolished projection line. The door panel itself, we are cutting through at 4 feet, so that is going to default to this thicker line. If I click on this and hit override, I can see I can change the pattern here. So what pattern do you want it to be? What color do you want it to be? I could make all of my demo stuff show up in red if I really wanted to. You can scroll through and find all of these different patterns. You can also create different patterns if you want to. So all of that is there. You can also come into and click this line here, and this shows the pattern that you've got here. You also, the pattern of the line. This other one was a pattern, like a hatch pattern. If something was filled, then it would show that pattern. But this line work, I can select from any one of these. I can also create new ones if I wanted to, what color I want it to be, and then also the line weight. So maybe I want this, right now it's a line weight of 3. Maybe I want this to really pop, so let's double it and say I want it to be a line weight of 6. So we say OK, hit apply. Now all of my demo stuff really starts to pop quite a bit. That might be a little too bold, but it might be something that you want to do if you're finding when you do demo plans that people are missing certain items because they're not seeing them on your plan. You might just punch it up to be pretty heavy, so that way there's no question what items are what. So that's essentially your graphic overrides. You can do the exact same thing for your new, your existing, that sort of thing, and you can come in here and change things if you want. So if you're showing different phasing, you can kind of come through and say, okay, in this sort of phase filter, the demo and the new, I want to highlight the new. I don't really care too much about the demo in this view. So I'm going to go through and say the demolished, I'm going to say, okay, that stuff, yeah, it's overridden. I'm going to go in and change what the hatch is on that. But then for the existing or the new stuff, I'm going to come in and override that. So I'm going to say, okay, not by category, I want it to be overridden. And then the override, I can come to new and say, okay, my projection lines are a little bit thicker, my cut lines are even thicker than that. So you can start to play around with this and get the look that you want overall with the phasing. So if I come back to this one, it's still showing the existing plus the new. If I want to show a overall plan, so maybe one of my floor plans, I want the completed project. I don't really care to show what's existing, what's new. I just want a nice floor plan that shows everything as it will be completed. I can just hit show complete. Everything kind of goes back to the way it was, and it fills in these little areas where the doors were. So it shows what is it going to be when it's all said and done without kind of distinguishing between what was old, what was new, and all of that. So in a nutshell, that is phasing.